Awaken to your truth that you are the I Am presence in harmony with the divine. You are consciousness beyond what the body and mind identify. This is Moment to Moment. Host Lynda Hope will remind and enlighten you to know your divine nature. You were born into the body already aware, but forgot it as you expanded your sense of identity, ego mind, pattern behaviors, and habits. Stop sleepwalking and wake up to your timeless, eternal, formless self. Now, your host of Moment to Moment, Lynda Hope.
Namaste. Happy New Year. You're listening to Moment. I'm your host, Lynda Hope, and I'm very happy that you're here in this moment now as we welcome another new year of now. Right? I mean, the new year, what does that really mean? A new year. This is a new moment. I believe that this moment now is all there is, right? So in this new year, if we want to say, it's a new year of opportunity, a new year of looking at ourselves more than outside ourselves. Really, to self-actualize means to go within and not be distracted out there. So I'm going to talk about something that I didn't see in New Year's resolutions when I was talking about that last year in December of 2022. We were sort of talking about New Year resolutions. What does that look like? And how do we prepare ourselves to embrace new opportunities? And what do those New Year's resolutions, if you really want to make one, what does that look like? I didn't see this as one of them. I didn't see the attitude of gratitude, having more gratitude in the new year. And yet, for those who have experienced what gratitude really feels like, it's like a warm hug. It is from the inside. Because whatever your mood is, you can be in the worst mood ever. And I've been in the worst mood ever, and I've shaken myself out of it into a place of gratitude. And what a contrast that is. Boy, talk about a roller coaster ride. You know, because we do live in duality. I know you all know that. And we see our minds going from one extreme to the other, being grateful 1 minute and being totally ungrateful the next. I mean, we can be really in gratitude, and then all of a sudden somebody pushes our buttons, and then we're not grateful at all anymore. In fact, we can storm out of the room. That's how crazy we can get with living in duality. But gratitude really goes deeper. We're not going to talk about surface gratitude, the surfacey kind of thing. Well, thank you for my new car, or thank you for my new puppy, or thank you for that compliment that you gave me. Well, that's a really egoic move there. But it's really about the deeper meaning of gratitude. And we're going to go through some three major points on this topic of gratitude. So if you want to get ready with a pencil and paper, or obviously you can do that, but you can also watch reruns of this on my channel on momenttomoment.podbean.com anytime. And we can also go to WLTK-DB on YouTube and watch it too, moment to moment. But really, this moment, right, as we continue to talk about how important this moment is, as we continue to, continues to be the next, there's never a next, right? Because this moment is all there is. The last moment was history. History. The next is a mystery, right? This is your gift, your present moment. And so to bring a deeper awareness to that, we're going to talk about those three major points about the attitude of gratitude. So before I get started on that, we are going to honor our sponsors, but stay tuned and get that pencil and paper ready.
Heard a girl scream down here.
Are you kidding me right now?
I'm listening.
Doing very well. Thank you so much. Welcome back to Moment to Moment. And I want to say hello to some of my friends backstage here, Mark and Larry, and those who are watching on YouTube. Just happy that you're here. We love conversation. So if anytime you want to add your thoughts or come on the screen and converse with me, I would love that. So right now we're going to talk about some three major points about the attitude of gratitude and how we can perpetuate that attitude in our lives, inside ourselves, inside this being of who we are. And the first point we want to make is feeling grateful for everything that you experience in your life. Everything. First, I'm going to list the three, and then we're going to go back in depth and talk about it. So the first one is feeling grateful for everything that you experience in your life. Number two, expressing your gratitude to everyone who has made your life better. And maybe even a little worse. That happens too. So expressing your gratitude to everyone who has made your life better or worse. Yeah. The second part's not so easy, right? Third, feeling grateful for this present moment. This present moment. It's all you got. It's all we have, this present moment. Okay, so we're going to go back to the first one. Feeling grateful for everything that you experience in your life. Now, when things go right, it's very easy to be grateful, isn't it? You say, oh, thank you so much for this, whatever. It's very easy. New car, all this materialistic things, especially over Christmas right? We get a lot of presents. In Hanukkah, we get a lot of presents, and we can feel grateful in that moment for sure. It's easy. But when things aren't going so well, can we still be in gratitude? Can we still understand that it's an opportunity, that we are grateful for that opportunity, for whatever comes into that moment, to look at it and appreciate that for what it is, just the isness of it. Because really, as humans, we make it a good and bad situation. We make it right or wrong. As living in duality, that's what we tend to do, right? But when we really consider the deeper level of consciousness, that everything is just the way it unfolds in the now, it's all perfect. It's exactly what we need to see our reflection, to see that in that moment, we're actually being shown something within ourselves. In other words, sometimes we can be walking down the street feeling really good and we're smiling. And all of a sudden, somebody's smiling back at us, feeling, okay, We see that reflection. We see that this is our state of being. And that person is making it clear and affirming that. It also can be the other way around, right? It can also be the other way around. You're grumpy, you don't want to talk to anybody. You're getting in your car and all of a sudden a car gets right in front of you. It always does happen that way when you're in a hurry. And now there's that opportunity to say, I'm in a hurry. Yeah, okay, that's showing me I better just now relax, step back, take a breath, and allow this whatever to leave and to be centered, because you are now aware that that was a signal that you needed to wake up and not be so rushed and not be unconscious, as we would say, in that moment. So a lot of things stop us in our tracks, right? Especially if we had a car accident, that would definitely stop us in our tracks. And we would notice, wow, I was not paying attention in that moment. So there is a greater lesson in that. Yeah. So we can keep a diary about this too. I know friends of mine keep daily diaries. Opportunities to awaken, maybe, or a gratitude journal, right? Oprah Winfrey made that very popular. In fact, when she did that actual show, I was actually on that show. I had called in advance to get on that show, and I was very fortunate to be there. And we did get our gratitude journals. They were under our seats, and it's just such a fun time to be there. And that gratitude journal was beautiful in the essence that I was able to definitely write it in, feel it, see it, express it, and have it really deepen my acknowledgement of it. And so we want to spend time in that energy of gratitude. Of course, it is an attitude, but I think it's also a very strong energy, because what it does is it opens your heart. The gratitude opens very much heart-centered practice. And when you open your heart, it awakens you into the very core of who you are. And that's why it feels so good when you allow the gratitude to come forth in you. So think about a journal. Think about writing it in. And again, don't just write superficial things. Thank you for my new bike or my puppy. Thank you for what? What is the experience in your now moment that you're grateful for? Could be silence. How about that? The ability to just be quiet, to have that moment of stillness. Because as we know, to experience the essence of who you are as consciousness, you really are that stillness within. And rarely do we have moments throughout the day to be still and quiet and to feel our breath and feel into that place of eternal oneness and not be distracted. So as focused attention, we are very grateful for this opportunity of being here now. It is the most alive feeling that we can possibly get, really, in the now. Again, try to look at it as all an opportunity of expressing gratitude and see how that awakens you and enlivens you. So that's the first point. The second point is expressing your gratitude to everyone who has made your life better or even worse. Better or worse, right? Because we love to express our gratitude to people that make us feel good. Oh, thank you so much for that compliment. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Or thank you for taking me out to dinner. Or I'm so grateful to be able to, be with you. And, if they're fun-loving people, yes, for sure. It's so nice. And of course, it's always great to express your gratitude to people that you feel warm and cuddly with and want to share life with. Absolutely. But then there are moments too that we find people are not so adorable and lovable, and we may have some problems being in their company. But if we can actually be grateful for them in learning lessons from them, some of these people are our greatest teachers, right? They are our greatest teachers. Because when they push your buttons, okay, they pushed my buttons. Now, what do I need to do in that moment? That's an amazing opportunity. Because mostly in those moments, because we're so egoic most of the time in our unconsciousness, that's what it means to be unconscious, is to be totally in the ego. We tend to just, storm off in a huff or ignore them or not talk to them and actually, feel very threatened by them potentially. And our egos are hurt by people who push our buttons. And so we find it hard to be their friend if they're not being nice to us. Yeah. But there could be many misunderstandings when it comes to that. They could have been very simply saying something, and you may have interpreted what they said in a way that was, maybe not authentic. Maybe it was totally wrong. But something triggered you. And it wasn't just them. It was probably what happened the moment before that, or maybe a day before that, or something that also was in your energy field that was perpetuating your feeling of some kind of resentment or unhappiness. That was something in your energy body that was, maybe resulting in this interpretation. And now you're insulted. Now, your feeling of being insulted is, again, your ego mind. It's pattern behavior. And you need to look at it very closely and be able to witness your thought and say, that person just said that to me. Did he really mean that? Or did she really mean that? How can I now look inward and really say that again to myself and feel into those words and say, did they really mean that? Or am I just being triggered? And most of the time, when you exaggerate your emotions about something or you get all, blown out of perspective, it's usually because it's a deep trigger. It's something that goes to some kind of past pain body experience that needs to be healed. And again, this is your opportunity. What did that person say? And what do I need to heal within myself right now? Instead of throwing the blame at them and accusing them and pushing them away, just allow that to be seen and felt and heard, and then do the work, the internal or eternal work, and then find some closure around that within yourself. And the less triggered you are, the more peaceful you are. You will understand that you are evolving, that you are raising your consciousness, and that you are no longer attached. You are no longer being attached to your ego mind. And you're not saying, oh, that's who I am anymore. That's not me. That's not my identity. That's not the person. I am the presence. I am that presence. So look at that again as an opportunity, and then just say gratitude. And you may not want to say gratitude maybe to that person who was beautiful to you or not so beautiful to you. You may just want to internalize it and say thank you. Internalize it and say thank you so much for the lesson that I have learned today. You don't have to say it to their faces at all. It's only about you and your lessons and how you can disconnect from that egoic pattern behavior, habitual way that you usually handle things when you're unconscious. And you can't beat yourself up about it either. That's one of the things that I've learned about, this whole process of awakening, is that when you beat yourself up for doing or saying or acting a certain way, you have to be patient with yourself. We're not used to, thinking differently, right? The human species is very reactionary. And when you start to elevate and you start to realize that you are not just that person with the pattern behavior and habits and conceptual mind, pain body that Eckhart Tolle talks about, that you actually are the stillness and consciousness. It's a process of awakening. And so be gentle with yourself. You can lapse back into unconsciousness most of the day, but then all of a sudden, that moment of alertness and focus and centeredness and love that streams from your heart can all of a sudden appear in the aliveness that you are. And then you are here, totally here now. And that feeling of gratitude and appreciation is not even a thought that occurs to you. It is a beingness that flows. It flows from your beingness. It does. It just envelops you because you feel so blissful that you are just here without your mind chatter or your preconceived ideas of your identity and who you think you are. That's all. It's not even visible from this perspective. So that gratitude just, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You just can't stop. Yeah. So that's a beautiful feeling. So we're going to talk about number 3, feeling grateful for this moment. So this present moment. So I guess I just talked about that, right? In this present moment, as you awaken, as you continue to evolve in your consciousness and deepen your awareness of who you are, this moment is actualized in a sense that it wouldn't be any other way. And it is perfect now. And it's sort of through God's grace that you are present and that you are presence itself. And today I have to share my experience as I was walking outside, and it was just a beautiful day today. It was actually almost 50 degrees in Chicago, and the sun came out and it was blue sky. It was, up to this point, it has been pretty dingy out there. And so that is also, you can look at it as an opportunity, even in the clouds and in the dingy days and the rain and such, you can still be present and awake. Absolutely. But this was an extraordinarily sunny day. And I was walking where I usually walk around my complex here. And I just felt the trees in such a strong way, the magnificent strength and a beauty of, they didn't have leaves, they're bare, but there was this powerful connection with them in nature. And I just felt just a love of all that was surrounding me. And that connection was something that was not a mental process. Wow, look at that tree. Look how gorgeous that is. I wish I were that, It was not through thought that was acquired or felt. It was through that knowing of that we are all one in this place of the now. And that was not even a thought. It was just such a strong knowing as I continued to walk and feel the sense of God's grace in me in this formless place. And so as those things you experience, you're also witnessing that in that moment. You're witnessing the blissfulness that you're feeling, and you're also witnessing it when it's not so blissful. But each moment has, as you continue to see the moment revealed to you, no matter what you're doing. And again, walking in nature is just a beautiful way to really awaken to the depth of who you are and to experience whatever you're hearing or seeing or touching. All your sense perceptions can be awakened in that. And then as you build that sense of gratitude in that moment, and again, you could say, oh, I appreciate this day. Look at how gorgeous it is. No matter what day it is, again, it could be sunny, it could be cloudy, just for what it is. Appreciation, unconditional appreciation, I guess you would call it. right? But we always like something to be just the way we want it to be. And that's where we lose it. That's where we don't get appreciative at all. Because if it's not exactly the way we talking about as a person, it's just the way we want it, we're going to take another opportunity to get really ticked off, right? Sometimes we just wake up that way. Have you ever woken up that way where everything seems to annoy you? I think sometimes that does happen, right? For what reason is that? Because you're not appreciating now. Because if you were appreciating the now, you wouldn't be in that mood. You wouldn't be wanting that moment to be different. Because that moment is just the way it's going to be, perfect. You may not interpret it at that point that way because you're involved in your egoic thoughts or your desire for it to be something other than it is. Again, we were talking about the weather. Do we really want it to be this cloudy every day of the week? We can get pretty tired of it if we start dwelling on that and we start wanting it to be different. Then we're going to be unhappy. That's just all there is. So if you can't make friends with this moment right now, you're not going to make friends with the next moment. No, you aren't. So how can you, for the new year, really, really embrace this now unconditionally and add that element of appreciation in it that really deepens it even more? It says, wow, I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, those people that come into your state right then, that shine back at you, they see it too. Like I had an experience today. I was going to Panera Bread. I sort of like that place. Went in for breakfast, and I was feeling so blissful. And I just walked in, and this woman took a double take at me, like, "Hello." I said, "Hello," and she goes, "Hello." I was like, she saw something, and I'm thinking she probably saw some light shining out of me or something, because she was also connected in such a strong way that there was that all of a sudden a kinship, like, wow, you get me, I get you, I see you, like the Avatar. Yeah, I see you. And that's what it's about. We see that we are the light within each other. We are flowing that love and light to each other all the time when we are in the now. That is the essence of who we are. And we're sharing that appreciation of that moment with that other person in such a deep connection that you can make somebody's day so complete just by that one moment interaction, that moment. How are you going to use that moment to the fullest? If you use this moment to the fullest, that's amazing. Then you are completely in knowing your truth and sharing your truth and being the light in the place where there's need for a lot of light and love. And we could also say God, right? Some people have a hard time with the word God, though. But let's say universe or source, power, source. The I am. The I am. We talk about I am, right? The I am that God spoke to Moses saying, I am that I am. There's no better way to describe God, universe, than presence, than the isness of now. That's all there is. Yes, and Mark wants to say something, so I'm going to bring Mark. Hi, Mark. I can't hear you too well. Can you speak up?
Here, is this better? Hello.
Much better. Thank you for joining us.
So I was thinking that if if someone has a bit of a hiccup on the word God, okay, I was getting something interesting where I was saying I am is not God, but I am the I am that I have been given is a concept, We've been given our life, I guess. I mean, I didn't create my life.
So what we're saying is God creator or universe or source created us. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I have been given my I am.
So what do you believe God, when God spoke to Moses, when he said, I am that I am, how do you hear that?
Well, when God says I am that I am, that's everything. So, but we're talking about kind of the God essence of just Mark or Lynda.
So
or
you
Larry.
believe the essence of Mark or Lynda is God?
It's not all of God. It's an essence. It's an embryo, an ember. But
As
it's not
well.
the burning bush.
So in harmony, you would say that we are in harmony with God, source, whatever, as one.
Yeah, collective consciousness, a massive chord, hopefully sounding more and more in tune, which is I think we'll hear through this share.
Yeah. You know, there are non-dualistic teachings out there as we explored that through the ancient, the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishad teachings, the Hindu teachings. And if you're familiar with them, there are the Veda Vedanta teachings where there's no separation at all between the essence of who we are and God. And they will go on to say that if we are living in non-duality, that means there's only one, and the one is us and God. And so to put us outside of God is to put us outside of the oneness into duality again, where it's us and God. And not to realize that we are of God, as God, in the one of non-dualism. So there are also within those teachings the perspective that as a circle, we're right here next to God, and this is a circle. And so they will say we're as harmony with God, but we're not the God. And so, right? So
Yeah.
I'm very much like on the fence about because I am not going to say I am God. I am not God. I am in harmony as God in the essence of the oneness consciousness that's all pervading. As consciousness, that's who we are. And there's only one consciousness, which is we're all part of in this world. So everything outside of the one consciousness is duality, and that's the form and the identity of the person. But the transcendence is the purpose of this world of life, of the form, is to transcend it to the formless, into the place of harmony, oneness. But I really appreciate your feedback on this. So what are you hearing certain parts that agree with you or not so much?
Well, I might have a different way of skinning the duality cat. Where I would think that duality we needed density, okay, to support duality, to give us the contrast, to appreciate Godness, our essence and our embryo in our pursuit, maybe our ascension, to get close. You know what I mean? It's like we're all being called back home, and some folks hear that broadcast better or more clear than others.
Right.
But that the contrast allows us maybe to find our way.
Absolutely. Yes.
So from that standpoint, it's almost like one could appreciate, you know what I mean, the shitstorm going on the planet right now, because it's going to be some guidestones for, you know, or a collective breadcrumbing of humanity, and you know, could be, it's going to be it's interesting as heck. It sure was last couple of years. Holy smokes! I mean, so here we go, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. And that's why when we talk about appreciation, no matter what God, whatever people offer us in the moment or what happens to us in the moment, like you say, it's in the contrast is where we find our lessons, so that we can say, is this all there is? that song, is that all there is? I don't think so. So that is we are in a place of I think what some of the sages say is the time of enlightenment, because we are needing to wake up from this play, because this is the play. And if we don't see it as a play, and we don't see what is truly real within ourselves, then we will go down that rabbit hole really quickly. And
so, some have characterized it not as a play, but a bad 1-star kabuki theater performance. But
yeah.
I think it'll be better. So can I
Thank
can
you.
I go back? Can I go
Yes,
backstage?
you may go back to your seat. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Mark. Thanks. Yeah. So anyone who wants to comment also on YouTube or join us live on the stream anytime, please let me know. It is wonderful that we can express these perceptions and realizations openly with each other and feel unthreatened, right? How many years have we gone through in our evolution where we are threatened all the time by just speaking our truth about our what we feel God is in our lives, what we feel God is to us, and to want to openly express that, because a lot of times, you know, we don't feel that we don't feel safe in our ability to do that. So thank you, Mark, for sharing. And I would love to share this wonderful article. You know, I love Eckhart Tolle, as you know, and I'm very happy to be going to his Teacher of Presence workshop that begins in May in Canada. And I'm excited to be with those people, to hear Eckhart live, and then to follow 5 months worth of his teachings to really deepen my consciousness and to continue to do the work. But I also love Deepak Chopra. And, you know, as you may know, Deepak Chopra is the founder of Chopra Foundation, a nonprofit entity for research on well-being and humanitarianism. And he is a clinical professor of family medicine and public health at the University of California, San Diego. He's written 89 books. He's translated over 43 languages. And he has the 90th book, national bestseller, called Meta-Human, Unleashing Your Infinite Potential. So I was looking up, as I research every week, about different topics to talk about. And essentially, it's the same topic, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about now. It's all about being present in knowing your essential nature. And so I looked and found this beautiful article on gratitude, where he quotes the writer and teacher Dana Arcuri, Arcuri. And she says, the more you are grateful for what you have, the more you can live fully in the present. And we sort of talked about that, right? That is such a heart-opening practice that it does center you. It absolutely, like, woof, roots you right in the now. So I love the way she said it. He goes on to say, psychologically, research has shown that practicing gratitude measurably improves your well-being, and on the physical side, your heart health. So again, heart, right? Heart-centered health. Deepak's article also talks about gratitude begins when we change our relationship with life, again, to the present moment, from an attitude of rejecting and defending to one of acceptance and appreciation. So, right, we're not pushing away that moment. We're not saying, I don't like this, no matter what it is, a bad thing happened to us and we push it away or we try to hide it. No, we have to accept it and say, okay, I may not like it, but it is what it is. And sometimes we just have to say that. It is what it is. I may not like my car broken down on the side of the road, but it is what it is. And I just need to do what needs to be done to get through it and appreciate that I not only have the wherewithal to do it, I have a cell phone, I have people around me to help me. You see, that's when we start really harnessing our gratitude, right? We turn lemons into lemonade from that perspective. So now he says, we all need reminding about a truth expressed by the Greek philosopher Epicurus. He writes, do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not, which is exactly what we're talking about. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Now, isn't that interesting, right? Look, okay, let's take the car example. We were stuck on the side of the road, but guess what? It's a car. You got a car. It's broken down, but you got a car. And you wanted that car once, didn't you? So now you got to take care of your car and you got to be appreciative of your car. And that's a good thing because maybe you wouldn't be stuck on the side of the road if you had more appreciation for your car. Okay, there you go. All right. A beautiful exercise that Deepak shares in this article is when you spontaneously feel grateful for anything, don't let the moment slip by. Yeah, that's another great one. Because sometimes you're with friends, let's say, and you're enjoying a meal. I love to pray over a meal. I won't eat a meal unless I pray over it. And I think it's more, the prayer is more of gratitude and appreciation that God has provided in that moment, that friends are here or I'm just by myself and I just say, look at that food. Wow. Again, it's something that you had hoped for. You'd hope for having a beautiful home with, or a house, a place to stay, or food provided for you, right? In that moment. Yes, that's appreciation. And don't let that slip by. Appreciate the food, appreciate your company, appreciate your time there in that place, and that you're not needing to be anywhere else. Because in this moment, again, is an opportunity to express it, no matter what it looks like. So he says, pause, put your attention on the heart region in your chest and experience the warm emotion, right there. This is how gratitude opens up the experience of love and bliss. At the same time, you are making a mind-body connection as you bring your mind into your heart space. That's really beautiful. There's that mind-heart connection. And Greg Braden teaches that, and heart math teaches that, where you just put your heart into your mind, into your heart space and merges it. And actually, it's shown that your heart has a mind of its own, and it syncs up, it connects in a strong way. So this is through gratitude, and at the same time, you are making that the sensation of warmth that you feel in your heart tells you that your message of gratitude has been sent and received by your cells. That's how deep you're going. On a cellular level, you are definitely deepening that heart connection by that sense of gratitude. And you can reinforce this connection by visualizing what you are grateful for too. Because visualization is a powerful way to focus your intention and attention. Yeah, both. He also writes, another very good practice is to lie in bed for a few minutes before falling asleep to review your day. Bring to mind the things that you are grateful for, but were too busy to notice. Oh, that's great. So in a way, by being in the now, we talk about not thinking about the past, right? Sort of regurgitating. But in this particular instance, we're using it as a practice, a heart opening practice. And we're saying, let me review my day. Let me just think about that. Not that you're attached to it in any way or really wanting it to be any different. You're just looking at it. Okay, so what did I do today? Okay. I went here, I saw this person, I may I ran into an old friend, but I was such in a hurry, I didn't say hello. I didn't want to get into conversation. You missed the opportunity. You're thinking back, yeah, I could have been grateful. I could have been grateful for that moment of seeing that person and maybe even went up and talked to that person, but I didn't because I felt rushed. Maybe I could have done that next time. Again, it's not about putting yourself down or feeling bad about the situation. It's about acknowledging it, learning from it, and then appreciating that maybe I had an opportunity to do something and next time I will. Yeah. Another quote is relevant, the one that Maya Angelou said, which she said, "Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayers." I'll repeat that. Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? In other words, feeling grateful can be a devotional meditation. Yeah. And there's a Buddhist metta practice that I participated in in around Napa Valley. There was a Buddhist place, a center, retreat center, and we did metta practice. And basically what it was is you would visualize the person coming into the room and sitting in front of you. And then you would say, thank you for you. Thank you for being in my life. And whatever you wanted to say to that person. And then you would visualize that person moving to the right of you and sitting down. And then you visualized another person that you really liked. Of course, these first two people are people that you really like, right? Could be your parents, could be your sibling, could be a friend. But then as you continue to invite people into the room, those are the people that you have not so happy feelings about. And that's when the practice really gets interesting. And that person comes in and sits down in front of you and you don't even want to look at them. In your mind's eye, you're going, do I have to look at this person? First of all, I don't want to look at him. Second of all, I don't want to say thank you to him, right? But then after a while, it becomes easier and you actually look at them in your mind's eye and feel a sense of connection. And I did this to one person that I didn't like it. There was something going on between the two of us. I don't know what it was, but we just did not have a good rapport. And as I practiced this metta practice, I used her as my benchmark. I really wanted to love everybody and know that, because we're all one. If you don't love them, you don't love yourself, frankly, right? So get clear on that. If we're not loving everybody, no matter what, we're not loving ourselves. So when you practice in on something like that, you really understand that essence. And then eventually I was able to, in her presence, embrace her. I was able to let go of that negative energy that somehow was enveloping us and change it into a kind appreciation for her. So that was a powerful, powerful thing. He also writes, many people feel grateful in a way that doesn't go very deep, and we just talked about that, especially if their motivation is material. Being grateful for a great job, big house, new car, keeps everything on the surface. At a deeper emotional level, we are grateful for our families and good health. But at a deepest level, gratitude acknowledges that you have the support of nature. This support underlies your whole existence. It comes to you from pure consciousness, expressing itself through your true self. So again, that moment that I was outside walking, that sense of appreciation for nature and for the trees and it wasn't really about the beauty of the tree. It had no leaves on it. Of course, there is a beauty though of the bark, right? And all of the branches and all of the shapes that it was forming. And I think Eckhart talks about this too, that when you are deeply in nature and you're really looking at it closely, and you're seeing it. So let's use the tree for instance. So you're seeing the bark, and you're feeling the power of the trunk, and you're looking at the strength of that tree and the height of it. And then you see a little bird on top of the branch, just a little bird. I mean, this whole thing is so exciting, really, when you delve into it deeply and you appreciate every part of it. When do you have that experience? When do you really get that opportunity? And you can do that tomorrow. You can do that today. You can do that right now, actually. So whatever you see right now in your moment, or hear right now in your moment, can you intensify it? Intensify it with your appreciation. That's what it is all about. Your true self is connected, as he writes, to pure consciousness and everything that flows from it. There is also another self, the ego, that manipulates life for its own purposes. The ego constantly chooses between, I want this, I don't want that. So life proceeds by getting more of what you want and less of what you don't want. That's what we try to do. We sift through, and we've got a lot of opinions about what we want and what we don't want as people. And sometimes we get pretty picky about what we want, what we don't want. And if it's not provided to us in a certain way, I don't know, have you ever gone out to dinner with somebody who wants their food prepared in a certain way? And you always get, I had some old family members like that. And it was an embarrassment to be with them at dinner time. Yes, I'm sure you've had that share of people who are picking on everything and you feel like you want to hide under the table. So we get that way sometimes when we get so picky that we have to just let it all go and allow it and accept it. Acceptance is key too. You may not really get into appreciation. All you may get as far as is acceptance. I accept it. So he continues to write, this process overlooks the values located in the true self. So love, compassion, truth, beauty, discovery, creativity, and evolution. Because if we're only looking for what we want and we're being very narrow-minded in what that is, we can't see the beauty around us. We can't see the love that's streaming in. We can't feel compassion about it. We don't know the beauty of it. So let's use the example again of going out in the winter and we're seeing bare trees. Maybe if we don't like trees without leaves on it, we'll dismiss it. We'll say, ugh, is that ugly? Look at that, so bare. Can't wait till the summer. Can't wait for it to flourish. Can't wait to have leaves, right? So what do? We miss the beauty and strength and power of that tree that's just bare before us. And that opportunity is gone because all we can focus in on is what we don't want or what we want, either one. Some of these values do not manage, he says, some of these values do manage to make it to the surface of life, but our birthright is to have much more of them. Gratitude is a way of opening the channel that will bring more by contacting the true self and speaking from your heart. And Buddha taught a gratitude meditation called gladdening the heart, instructing the aspirant to consider the wonderful circumstances that led them to seek spiritual awakening and the ability to achieve it. So the gladdening of the heart, as we mentioned, that's the attitude of gratitude, of the gladdening of the heart. So when we are looking at any situation, what is the diamond in the rough? What can we see about it? Maybe it comes to us in a mud ball and we catch this mud ball and we look at it and say, ooh, it's not what I wanted. And then we really look deeper and deeper and deeper and start peeling off the mud and and underneath it, we see something, discover something that we wouldn't have discovered if we didn't look deeper. And that's what appreciation is. Looking deeper into this moment with an open heart, a non-judgmental mind, because we do like to judge, don't we? Our ego likes to discern and compare and want it to be different. But that's good if we can witness it. Be the witness to your mind, playing that game, as we call it, of contrasts, and see how easy it flips back and forth between, oh, I like that. Oh, I didn't like that. I think some of us would notice that when we, eat a meal, sometimes the first bite, we say, ooh, I don't like it. And then you take the second bite and you go, wow, this is actually better than I thought. And then the third bite, I'm actually enjoying this. That's how different our emotions, our range of sensitivity can be. It's very fickle. But if we can witness it, then it's not like we're on a roller coaster ride anymore. We're actually stabilized in that place of the now, of the acceptance of the isness of whatever that is, without judging, without complaining, wanting it to be different. And the flow and the joy that comes into that moment has a pure signal without the psychological games. It's allowed to be fully realized and enjoyed. And isn't that beautiful? And so may the new year be that way for you. As you take a sip of drink, as you eat your food, as you ingest, can you fully ingest it and appreciate how it feels going down and how it feels in your body? And that also helps with eating. I love mindful eating. We're going to do that at some point. I think we did actually last year. Took a little bite of something. Appreciated it, chewed it, let it just slowly get down our throats, said thank you, and then took the next bite. I think everybody would be very skinny if we did that as a practice. And we'd fill up a lot faster. And I think we'd save a lot of money. Boy, there's a lot of benefits to that. Yeah, a lot of good things. So may this now experience be enjoyed and enriched by your appreciation to it. And may the now that you all have always be fully actualized in this consciousness that you are. So I hope that you join again next week on Moment to Moment. I will have Sharon Berkowitz on. She will be Zooming in or coming on from Hawaii. I will be in New Mexico visiting my daughter, so I will not be here, but I will be back the next week. And I'll also be having a special guest on, Robert Browning, who will be sharing a lot of beautiful oneness, awareness and intention in the now, in work and in business. So we've got a lot of wonderful speakers and presenters to share their wisdom with you as we go forward in 2023. Blessings to all of you, and may you continue to be in joy in the now.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.